This is Chris. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what it is to keep a wet edge in painting and rolling walls. And keeping a wet edge, you're going to be painting in whatever room you're going to be painting in. You're going to be working from right to left or left to right, whatever is convenient for you. And in this room here, I'm working from left to right. And keeping a wet edge is working from whatever you're going, left to right, right to left, and you're keeping your paint wet and you're not allowing it to dry, or you're not putting the paint on too thin that it won't flow together. So in this wall, I'm going to be overlapping 50% and working along this wall and rolling on my paint, and I'm keep dipping my paint in the nap. If I run it out to the point it begins to get dry, the paint, there's not enough paint for it to gel and flow together. So I'm going to be constantly dipping my nap and loading my nap up and working from left to right. And a loaded nap will just work just a small section, and then I got to load it up again, keeping that paint wet, not running my nap out of paint. Want to keep it saturated and continuing to work, putting lots of paint on the wall. This isn't the final coat, this is just our first coat. It's going to take 2 coats to cover this wall. So our wet edge is not as critical, but if you don't keep a wet edge and put enough paint on the walls to get it to flow together, it'll leave stripe and lap marks on the wall. So you want to just keep loading your nap, keeping the wall and nap saturated with paint. The paint should never begin to run out of paint. The nap shouldn't. And if the nap runs out of paint, it'll actually start pulling it back off the wall. So keep loading it. You can see how many times I'm loading this nap, running down this wall, keeping the nap saturated and keeping my paint edge wet. And that's what keeping a wet edge is. If you don't keep a wet edge and keep your edge, your trailing edge completely saturated, the paint won't flow together, won't gel out, and you'll actually get lap marks or stripe marks up and down your walls. So it's important to keep a wet edge.